Trying to figure out how to best bring their team up to a peak without taking them over the edge and causing a lot of issues early in the game.
And you don't think much of a pregame speech is needed for this one?
I think the pregame speeches were the shortest all year. If they didn't just say, let's go get them, guys, they probably talked too much.
Ridder with it after the play fake. Man open, that's Anthony Schwartz. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
That one good for 37 yards.
Well, after the standard 2-week layoff, you always wonder how's your offense going to respond and come out and play here in the Super Bowl. Well, they got a great answer right there and almost a sigh of relief on that side of the field because now they've got to feel like they can use their entire playbook and game plan for this one.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 39-yard line.
Counter play, here's Gibbs.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 34-yard line, here's a 2nd and 5. Ridder going to change it up. Second down, and they go back to Gibbs.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Ridder from the gun. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down, and this has been a great opening drive. You know, at this point, they'd hate to settle for 3, but they've created a fresh set of downs and a 1st and goal.
A chance for the first score of this Super Bowl. Here's 1st and goal.
They'll run with Gibbs.
And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal.
Looking to throw it here, Ridder.
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
Third and goal, Ridder with it.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. So a big sack for a loss of 4. It brings up 4th and goal.
Really talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. And his kick is good.
3 points, probably not going to win this Super Bowl, but at least you get something on the opening drive.
And it's certainly not going to lose it. So the bottom line is, come away with the points now, come back and get greedy later, and try and put it in the end zone.
And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. To throw, here's Nix. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
He'll drop this down to Williams.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
This Super Bowl, of course, just a huge one for this head coach. The first time he's walked the sidelines in a game of this magnitude. And you know, I might normally ask the cliche, what's going through his mind right now? But maybe the better question, CD, what do you think are the pitfalls of being a...
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
Aleem McNeil.
Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards.
They need 18 yards here on 3rd down. Now it's Nix.
And he's got his big tight end here. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 30. The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow him to convert a 3rd and 18.
Here's Nix.
Throwing middle, and it's complete. Another first down as he went right back to the same well, this time for 17 yards.
A nice gain there to his trusty tight end, and now it's got them thinking opening drive touchdown here as they get into the red zone.
And in most cases with your tight end, you feel like you've got a mismatch no matter who's covering him. Is it a small cornerback? Is it a linebacker who may not run as well? In any event, whatever you see, you think that tight end can win that battle.
He's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
They run it again with Williams. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
So that does it for the first quarter of Super Bowl 62. Back in a moment.
3-0 is our score. We'll return after this message. You're watching the NFL, and it's right here on EA Sports. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard.
Now they'll change things up.
That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
Well, you have to be aware defensively that you've got 2 goals because obviously you're trying to prevent the touchdown, but you're also trying to keep it from getting a first down as well. That time they weren't up to the task, and it's 1st and goal.
Williams will take it in. Touchdown, Denver.
Chase McLaughlin on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
One thing you always worry about when he breaks the pocket is he going to take off with it? That time, the pressure was starting to close in, and he's just got to throw this one away.
Now a 2nd and 10. Gibbs straight ahead.
Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
They'll work with 4 receivers here on 3rd and 6. Back to throw, Ritter.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Like what I've seen so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Fielded at about the 28. 43 yards on the punt. Return of 4. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Nix.
And this one is incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3 and out, and giving the ball back to their offense.
That's taken on the 25. Call it an even 40-yard punt. 7, though, on the return. And the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jamison Williams, 68 yards. And the Lions are able to move back in front.
It took them a while to get their speedster involved, but they found him downfield there.
And what we've discovered as we've watched games is the speedster doesn't have to have a lot of catches, doesn't have to have volume in order to have a huge impact on the game. His speed scares the heck out of defenses, and other guys can capitalize, but when you finally hit him and he carries it all the way into the end zone, that's what you're paying him for. That big threat that can make big plays on a limited number of catches.
That's how you step on the stage with your first catch. Take it to the house. The extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 10-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Nix to the air.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there at 2nd down.
One thing you hope to see out of a rookie tight end is a real concentration when the ball's in the air, and I'm not sure that he didn't, but he has to be prepared for people making a play on it when that ball's up for grabs.
2nd and 10. And now they'll shift things around.
From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll try to run for it. Here's Williams. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40.
Throwing Nix. That's caught. He finds Danny Gray.
And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
To throw is Nix. That is incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Here's 2nd and 10. Nix from the shotgun.
And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I'm pretty sure any quarterback will tell you it's nice to have a tight end that can stretch the field. And how about him right there, working in the heart of the defense, and they connect on a very nice play downfield, a combination of talent and toughness to go into the briar patch.
Williams is into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. McLaughlin now to add the PAT. And that makes it 14-10. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Third down and 13. Ridder now. He sets to fire deep. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. Here comes the Lions punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They're starting to put some space here. First quarter, they didn't look so hot offensively. This second quarter, though, they've looked really good.
They jumped in the saddle in a big way now, and now they're in full gallop. I mean, before, kind of cantering around a little bit, right, trying to feel their way, not getting done what they wanted to. But somehow they put it together with play calling, execution, and now there's a pretty big gap.
And they'll look to make that gap even bigger here. 60 yards rushing for him now in the first half of this Super Bowl. Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff, and when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease.
You really don't, but also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only are they controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the strain, the next 2 to 3 seconds, to continue to move people.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. A great effort there. 28 yards. And the Broncos continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that makes it a 21-10 game. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And able to return this one all the way out to the other side of the field across the 50.
Partner, when I was in college, we used to have these things called game maxims that we did before every game. One of them said, press the kicking game. For here's where the breaks are made, is the area of hidden yardage. How about that return? Flipping the field, taking it past the 50, and getting things set up to start the series.
Here's Ridder. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on second down.
A toss out right to Gibbs.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Ridder from the gun on third down.
Looking deep downfield. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown.
Anthony Schwartz,
40 yards.
And the Lions are back within a score. A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Extra point right down the middle. And it's now 21-17. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Operating from the gun, here's Nix. He'll get that complete to Franklin.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That's caught inside the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score.
T. Higgins,
50 yards.
and the Broncos will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 11. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Going play action. Ridder. Throw left side. There's Schwartz with it.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
Well, every lineman knows the rule. You only get a 1-yard buffer beyond that line of scrimmage, and then the flag is thrown, and he got tagged for it there. Ridder off the play fake.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Williams, a man in motion right. Final play before the half. Here's Ritter. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break.
Lions 17.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl.
And no return forthcoming. It'll be a touchback. And the third quarter will start from the 30. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And I would imagine this is where you have to take stock of the situation, CD, and say, gosh, we're halfway to the Lombardi Trophy. Let's not slow down now.
And I like the way you went there. Let's not slow down now, because the first half certainly went their way. And I would expect them to continue with that type of a game plan. But you're right. You do think back to Super Bowl 54. 49ers had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. Couldn't hold.
That's caught inside the 20. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. A huge play there for Denver. 54 yards. A real field flipper there, as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Out of the pistol, here's Williams. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds, right around the 7. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that's going to make it fourth down.
I thought maybe when he caught, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
Boy, a call like this, certainly tougher to make in a Super Bowl, but they'll go for it on fourth down.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Broncos will extend their third quarter lead here in this Super Bowl.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And the lead is up to 18 now. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Drive starts with a run from Gibbs.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Ritter.
be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Ritter back to throw.
Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. His first catch of this Super Bowl, and it'll be good for a first down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs.
And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
Well, another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
Looking to throw it here. Ritter.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. His second catch of the Super Bowl, and it's good enough for a first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection.
Ritter will set up to throw it.
Here's a diving catch right side. And he's going to be brought down right there at the 23-yard line.
When the spotlight is at its brightest, and let's face it, it's the Super Bowl, those types of plays come out, don't they?
Absolutely. A big-time catch on the biggest of stages.
Do you think that that one's going to live on? We're going to see this for a long time.
Definitely going to live on forever with him, that's for sure.
No doubt.
Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Third quarter of the biggest spectacle in sport, the Super Bowl. Thanks for joining us, everybody. 2nd and 10.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here.
Ritter to throw it.
And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Gibbs will try and pick it up.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
Going for it on 4th down. It's Ritter.
Flushed out right. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. Well, certainly not how they drew it up. A 4th down gamble turns into a 4th down scramble, but all is well. First down.
Gibbs. Oh, he's going absolutely nowhere as he is hit behind the line.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. They'll set up to throw. To the goal line, but It's incomplete.
And he still doesn't have a catch. We're into the second half. I think it's a little bit of a surprise to me, but that was one he should have caught.
Absolutely. That was his best opportunity right there. He dropped it.
Third and goal. Ritter with it.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for him. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a fourth down. Well played.
And this one is right through, and that'll get the deficit down to 15.
So that maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but it does get them back within a couple of scores.
And at this point in the third quarter, you don't have much margin for error, and that means you can't have drives that end with nothing. Whether it's a punt, a turnover on downs, those have to go away. You have to end with a kick, either a field goal or an extra point after a touchdown.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, the fact you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
A big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
Another big play right there, and this is where, as an offense, you can really put the hammer down. You've got a double-digit lead, but those other guys, they've been hanging around. A touchdown here could put this game out of reach, and that's a strong step towards getting it done.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10, down at the 33. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
B.J. Ojulari able to make the stop.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
It's been a fun one through 3. It always is. The final quarter of Super Bowl 62 is coming your way next.
You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
Now it's Nix.
Throwing left side, it's complete. And they move this all the way down to the 9. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. So 3 plays, already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
Nix to the air.
And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. He'll wind up losing 10 there. A full 10 yards, so that one hurts. And it brings up 3rd and goal.
They'll try and throw. Here's Nix. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. T. Higgins, his second touchdown of the Super Bowl. And the Broncos are feeling good as they extend their lead in the Super Bowl. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And it's becoming more and more apparent that this is just not going to be their night. That Lombardi Trophy so close, but the expectations simply have not matched the results as they start on this drive, 1st and 10.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 4. Going underneath, Gibbs has it. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4. If they're going to have a shot in this Super Bowl, they're going to need this one on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Eluding the pressure right. A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Broncos are going to get the football back in great field position.
Here's Nix. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Off the option, that's complete. Down at the 2. Broke through first contact, but ultimately stopped shy of the goal line. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. They'll run it with Williams. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So backed up to the 6 now. 3rd and goal. They'll try to run it in. It's Williams. And he'll take this one down inside the 5 to the 3. It's about a 3-yard pickup there, but more importantly, they're still a few yards away here. It's now 4th down and goal. And his kick is indeed good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they've had that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Those Super Bowl hopes that they had really dwindling now here in the fourth quarter. That NFC crown that they got 2 weeks ago seems like a distant memory as they have been outplayed tonight. Back to throw, Ritter.
That'll be caught. It's St. Brown. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Ritter has it knocked down. It's picked up by the Broncos. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he is going to lose yardage here.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
The first down play, to be frank, nothing short of awful, and now they have to deal with second and very long.
To throw is Nix. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins.
It got his man complete.
Now he's loose again.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
So still throwing here in the fourth quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
They'll look to run for it with Williams. And he will not make it to the goal line as his try for two is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
From the 35, here's second and a couple. Another run for Gibbs here.
And oh, he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
A give right side for Gibbs.
And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Ritter now looking to throw it this time.
Buying time.
Ridder has it knocked down.
It's picked up by the Broncos. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. So he went out of the pocket left, and then things got dicey.
And what often happens is when they get outside, they want to keep their eyes downfield in order to try and complete a pass. But when they try to make a play, they've got to get their footwork involved. And that can really mess them up as well. And in this case, nothing went right, and the ball got knocked free.
The busy night continues for Williams. My word, it'll be nothing short of a monstrous loss on the play, and that's going to bring up a second and forever. Now it looks like he'll throw here.
They're looking for Higgins, but it is intercepted. Picked off by Quan Martin.
And a terrific return there. They're finally able to corral him down near the 11-yard line.
And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
Off the play fake, it's Ridder.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for them. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play.
You got it figured down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money, in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.